Alright, boys and girls, welcome to another wonderful episode of Haunted Router. It's your boy, Ben, and me, Jeffrey Coates, and we are going to be reading 4th Special Forces Group encountered something in West Tennessee. It was pure evil. Now, I can't remember how I stumbled upon this one, whether it was the Creepcast, Reddit, or r/NoSleep, but it had that military vibe. It looked like he's written, like, he has, like, a story that's, like, 12 parts, that if, like, this is really good, that could be a massive episode down the line. I know I've got my content creator brain just, like, absolutely firing shots off. I mean, more shots are getting fired off here than in a brothel. So I just wanted to say this is from The Forest Has Eyes on Reddit. Also, he has a website called theforesthaseyes.com where he has a ton of stories. We're talking about, like, I don't even know how much. I was going to give you a number, but I have no idea. It's a lot. So
we didn't come in prepared with that part at all.
He also has, like, a book coming out, I guess. If you look at his updates and about, you go to his about, I think he has a book. It's not an about, stories right here. I'll check out the stories. He's book update, unit overview, ODA 411. ODA 4111 is his book. It's kind of, that's cool. So keep an eye out for that. But we are going to read The Forest Has Eyes today. Is there anything else you want to add, Ben?
No, this just, I'm so glad that you found this, because this stuff tickles my pickle, like, to no end right here, man. Like, thinking about, like shadow military operations and, like, combining that with horror and stuff like that. Like, that's right up my alley, man. I love military stuff, even though I never served. I love military history and talking about it and stuff like that. So, and adding a horror story to this is just going to be awesome to me.
What's your thoughts on SMPs? Or SCPs? SCPs.
I am very interested in SCPs, but I've never really done a whole lot of, like, personal reading and researching into them. Mostly what it is I find channels like this one to read me stuff about SCPs.
You like that Daddy Sit Me Down and Tell Me Good.
Actually, yes. And now we're Daddy.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I guess.
But no, I've never really been super heavy into the SCPs. I had a lot of friends who were really wanted me to get like read more into it and stuff like that. I just haven't yet, but that might be something that we get into as well.
Absolutely, we'll figure it out down the line. Definitely, I SCPs have, like, a different flow, so I'd have to figure that out. But anyways, let's jump right into this story. This is 4th Special Forces Group encountered something in West Tennessee. It was pure evil.
You want to start us with the log?
Yeah. An elite team of U.S. Special Forces members, the Green Berets, is dispatched to West Tennessee. What then encountered there changed the course of their unit's history forever and was pure evil. Log name, West Tennessee Incident. Author, identity redacted. Date, PRE to 2016, approximately 0100.
I'm part of the United States Army Special Forces, the Green Berets, have been for several years now. In my tenure, I've deployed multiple times to Afghanistan, Iraq, a few months in Syria, several African countries, and even along the Russian and North Korean border. Basically, what I'm getting at is, I've been to all 4 corners of the globe, and I've seen my fair share of the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes with being part of SOCOM. I've got plenty of stories, some more interesting than others, but almost all of them are heavily classified behind red tape that will never be declassified until I'm dead and gone. However, there was an incident last night.
Something like that topical. The Epstein list, still
classified. That's what they found out in the Tennessee. They found the Epstein
list. The Epstein list. It's right next to the Diddy papers.
No, that's who was holding on to him. They're like, Diddy, what are you doing out here?
Yeah, remember, Diddy didn't traffic people. He just beat women.
Yeah, that's all.
Wild defense. Anyway, sorry for derailing.
Oh, you're good. However, there was an incident last night that stuck out from all the others. Mostly because one, unlike all of our other operations that took us to combat zone across the distant hemisphere, this one happened right at home in our own backyard. The enemies weren't a foreign proxy, a group of insurgents. It wasn't even human. Not exactly, I think. stuff from that night is still weird, and it's not like Command is going to give us any answers. It's the reason I'm bypassing everything I've been told, disregarding and putting my ass on the line, even if I use false information and withhold names. This guy's just letting you know he's going to lie to you. Plenty of instances, even if I put a lot of falsehood in this.
Typical government employee. Yeah,
right.
We'll get right on that. And 8 months later, they wonder why your paperwork hasn't been sent in.
This is so topical. Even if we give false information and withhold names, plenty of innocent people have died, as you'll find out, and upper command would sooner bury it than acknowledge their deaths and give the families closure. I don't have all the answers of what happened in that Western Tennessee National Park, but I do have enough to let people know the truth. Semi-truth. Anyways, for safety and privacy purposes, like I stated previous, I'm withholding a lot of personal information, such as names, exact locations, unit information, referring to smaller shit that I don't even think the scary 3-letter groups could really trace. Even if they cared, I hope they don't. Like I said, actually, you know what, never mind. I want to take a break real quick, because if we're doing like national parks also, where I'm like really big into like hiking and stuff like that. I just went to Yellow Springs yesterday to do a bunch of hiking in like different state parks and preserves and stuff.
Yellow Springs,
and
the golden shower of Yellowstone.
Oh yeah. Oh, Hippie Central, man, that place is so cool. But there was like some weird caves and shit like that out there. I'll actually send you a picture later, or we'll put it with this.
So I went to Carlsbad, right? Obviously, those are cool caves, the Carlsbad Caverns. But there was these ones in my hometown, not in my hometown, but like my home state of Nevada when I used to live there. And I cannot remember what they're called for the life of me. They could be called the Goon Caves or something. I don't know.
The Goon Caves, that's what they are.
Anyways, the stalactites and everything, it looked like it was disheveled. I remember it was like cool because it was like, Nevada has like a Carlsbad Caverns too. And you went in there and there was all this broke stuff. There was like writing on the wall because in the 60s it was a party zone.
Yeah.
They just had
that was kind of that was almost the mood that you got from some of the places that we saw yesterday out in the woods, man. Was like there were all sorts of like little areas and stuff like that it just seemed like this was cut out and like used for something, which is always like really weird to stumble on in the forest, where you're like, someone's been here and someone's been using that.
You know what they used it for? Weird belly button sex. It's where
weird belly button sex.
It's like where you just kind of like punch the belly button a bunch of times until you fill it like a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, and then somebody else comes and never mind.
It's called spaghetti dipping.
Spaghetti dipping. There we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, it always sounds like when these paragraphs begin like that, it sounds like I'm disregarding the last thing.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think it's great.
It's called belly button sex.
A lot of times,
spaghetti dipping, and I'm like, like I said, I'm part of a soap.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, but we're moving on.
Dude, that's so cool. Like I said, I'm part of a SOCOM Green Beret, a team. You all know who the Green Berets are. You should, otherwise it's probably best to get off this damn site and finish middle school. My A team is nicknamed Raider, a general theme in our company naming things after warrior culture-esque terms. Raider, Artemis, Barbarian, Centurion, etc. My unit's unique. Let's just put it that way. It's a 10-man element. The team lead, a way too salty Georgian captain, with a warrant officer, a medic, a comm sergeant, and 6 weapons sergeants. Normally there would be several more classes of personnel, and it would be more balanced out, but due to the nature of our raider, as well as the organization we were being associated with and running QRF and missions for, our captain decided this way was best. Considering we're all in one piece after our last mission, he was right. Okay, I get it, I get it.
Hold on. Yeah, there's a lot of military terms, and I hear you huffing and puffing. Now, I'm gonna be real. Before we started this, I thought the Green Berets were dead. I thought it was just the SEALs now. I thought they were going the way of Rambo.
No, I think there's still Green Beret training and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I really don't know if it's just one Green Beret or if he kind of said he's like, we are a like Green Beret tier.
No. I mean, like, I thought the group Green Berets were gone.
Yeah. That's what I think, that it's more of a designation, and it could have. That's what I'm not sure actually if it started with just one group and now it's a designation, like a tier of unit. That seems to be like what he's implying here, especially because the reason I was huffing and puffing is because it's all like the bottom rank is sergeant, which is hilarious. Like they don't have privates or lieutenants, captains, none of this like other stuff that way down here. It's just all chiefs. We're all bosses in this bitch.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you know what QRF stands for?
I do not.
Oh, that sucks. This is where I figured I would get some intel from you.
I know. Hold on.
I'll Google it. I'll Google it real quick. All right.
We're Googling right now. It is a
quick
reaction force.
Oh, okay. Quick reaction force. That's okay.
I thought it was recon force or something like that. I couldn't think of what the Q was, but I was thinking it was a recon force. But quick reaction, so rapid task. Yeah.
I honestly was so confused. So I was like, quarter Rudolph Fridge.
Quarter Rudolph.
I was just making stuff. Everything in my head was none of it was sensical because it is me. So everything was just nonsense. I was like, the Q's got to be for quarter, and I was like, I don't know any other Q words. Quail. It is the quail running fridge.
It's the quail running force. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They just dispatch birds.
Hell yeah, baby.
It was a calm, boring weekend at the station we were at for the rotation. Put on QRF, or Quick Reaction Force, for the weekend. QRF means that if someone somewhere needs the green-eyed boogeyman of the Western world, we were ready to kit up and be there at a moment's notice. It just so happened, right when some of us were getting ready to head to the bar and have our 2 singular fucking authorized beer for QRF month, we were called. Though, when we raced back to our cop, the place where we come in for work and all our guns and shit are stored, and got our shit ready, the captain came in with some surprising information. We'd be able to probably make it back for those beers because we were heading to West Tennessee of all fucking places. This was confusing. We didn't know what the status was yet. Command didn't give us any information. What the Op 4 was, what weapons they had, what the layout of the area was, nothing. But, being QRF, Raiders still kitted up, and we were in the HLZ in less than 20. While we waited for our transport, the captain finally got some information. Apparently, a facility in the middle of uninhabited, restricted woods of a national park had activated a distress signal. The woods it was situated in was a large national park in, like I said, western Tennessee, with a long history of disappearances on its now frequently closed and blocked off trails and campsites. Hell yeah, dude, it's your typical, like, government black site is just like, but they have to fund it somehow, so they like sell magnets and they have a couple walking trails out on what they think is the border, but it's a black site. There's not really a good border to it, so people are going to go missing. People are going to get snatched up. Dude, people are going to look behind rocks.
They're going to Naruto run toward the electric fences. That if anybody doesn't understand that reference, years
ago,
that's what
they're calling the QRFN for. They're like, it's the it's the Anons.
Years ago, there was it was Reddit, right? Reddit and 4chan.
4chan.
I know, but it didn't spread to Reddit. Didn't it spread to Reddit?
Yeah. Reddit is downstream of 4chan. It's actually kind of surprising how many things are, too.
Okay.
I encourage the listener at home to do a little bit of research on that themselves, but not too much research. But anyway, yes, yeah, that was
anyways, there was this whole thing where everybody was going to invade Area 51. They were to stock, lock, and sprint their way in. And there's a lot of memes with like gifs of Naruto running toward Area 51. And there was a briefing where the guy had to explain to the rest of these military guys what a Naruto run was. So he's just sitting there throwing his arms back. He's throwing it back like to a Cardi B song, brother, and just Naruto running in a demonstration for all these guys.
I'd like to think that they turned on some like anime theme music where he's like Staff Sergeant, if you would dim the lights and start the, and it's like.
It's just one guy in the back doing my Sanju.
One dude, and there's one guy in the back that's like, man, he's fucking this all up. That is not how you fucking Naruto run. It should have been me. It should have been me.
Should have been me.
He's the drone operator.
Yeah.
Okay, Kenny, you can come up here.
God.
Yeah.
Dude,
my time to shine.
Of course, the one Naruto fan, disgusting, lack of culture and taste.
All right. So, So we're heading to a national park out in western Tennessee with the QRF team.
Mm-hmm.
This raised a few questions. What was this facility? Why was it in a fucking national park? What happened to need to roll out the angriest Green Beret team this side of the East Coast and act as its backup? Why are we going there when in an hour someone in Libya or someone across fucking Eurasia might need us to back them up? I like how it says fucking Eurasia. But
Yeah.
fucking Eurasia, he does not have good feelings about that place. The captain acknowledged all of these questions, but assured us that's all he knew. He's been with our team for years now, several deployments to the box and back, and he's always been straight with us. It's how we knew he was lying. Ooh. Oh, okay, that's kind of a turn. I thought he was gonna say it's how we knew he wasn't lying. Like, I thought he was being true with them, but no, okay, so already a little bit of an eerie feeling gets put in. Our transport finally arrived. 160th SOAR, Night Stalkers, an aviation unit that's been around for nearly 40 years, having dragged every single kind of SOCOM unit to every single part of the world. We expected the Black Hawk they brought, but the armed escort of 2 birds that came with them was a surprise. We were in domestic America. We were going to Tennessee. Why were they here? Even if the Night Stalker's flying at top speeds across several states, it still took us a couple of hours to reach our landing point. The inside of that bird going full throttle was deafening, and even with the electronic headsets we were sporting, it was ear-splitting. And yet, while sitting next to the captain, I could tell he was speaking to someone on a different freak. This was off because normally he'd go to the comm sergeant and have to use the radio. But he had a side channel filled in his radio, talking to someone, writing down incoming information. I was able to peek over and saw some of the things he was writing.
Mescal, close quarters, OPFOR, no BLUFOR on X.
I don't know what any of these fucking modern military terms mean. I feel like such a dweeb right now because I'm like, if this was World War II, this modern military shit where it's like SOCOM, OP4, and stuff like that, like I feel like I should know this. I shouldn't even be wearing this fucking jacket. The birds touched down in the middle of an empty parking lot, outside of the local ranger station, Walmart. We filed out into the open area. The birds took off. The captain chimed in on our team net.
I looked up Mescal and got lost, dude. I looked up what Mescal was, nothing came up, and then you're like, yeah, read, Jeff. I'm like, oh, shit.
No, you're good.
It's the Romeo. It's where the
Ray Romeo.
This is Ray Lead. Get on the net and have them hold orbit in case we need to close air. Break.
For reference, Romeo is our radio guy. He then broke transmission and talked to us.
All raiders hold outside and take up security. I'm gonna get this freaking Gargarnar prepared for a RAMP brief. I just got more information.
Ragnar was a deliberate mispronunciation of Ranger. In the service, it was used to joke about guys from the 75th Rangers, or guys who took their tabs too seriously. Captain was on edge if he was cracking quips like that, that's for sure. We all took up positions behind some of the parked vehicles the Rangers would use. Just to clear things up, our team was outfitted with GPNVG, also known as quad nods, 4-barreled night vision optics that provide an almost daytime-like view of our surroundings. Couple that with our PECs mounted on our rifles, allowing us to see and shoot anything at night. Well, the U.S. military has a saying.
We own the night!
I like to think that every time they say that, they say it like Dracula, like that.
Oh, bloody hell, we own the night!
We own the night!
Whoa!
The tree line in front of us was lit up like a goddamn operator rave party as the captain walked back, nods down as the ranger currently on shift followed him. He keyed into our net. There's no way that's not supposed to say keyed. He keyed into our net, and we could hear him through our headsets.
And this is, who is this one talking?
I think that this is Ranger.
This is Ranger? All righters. This is target facility is 600 meters down the northwestern road, currently at our 1 o'clock break. New information states the facility has suffered a Moscow situation. Break. Oh, mascal means mass casualties.
Mass casualties.
Oh.
He's going to dangle these terms in front of us long enough to throw us off, and then he'll explain it to us.
Yeah. This is definitely like, I know we're I try not to always throw in like jokes and like references too hard to Creepcast, but like, I'm sure Wendigoon would like jizz knuckle for this, dude. He would.
Oh yeah.
He would know every single term, like every single term. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a big gun guy, like shooting, like hunting, like that type of stuff. The military stuff always, like, the most military things I got into was, like, Splinter Cell. I really got into Splinter Cell. But when it comes to a lot of this information, dude, I'm like, they didn't cover that in Rambo. I'm a little,
Yeah, right. That's what I mean, is I'm like, none of this was around in fucking at the Battle of the Bulge. Like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
It probably was, too, and that's the fucking even worse part.
Oh, dude, and you know what's crazy, too? Like, I know I've watched enough modern military movies to, like, know what this is and, like, know it from context, but it's been a while since I've seen it. The last one I watched was that really good one with Marky Mark. Wahlberg, yeah. What was that one?
American Sniper or something?
No. This is the one
that's Bradley Cooper.
American Sniper was, or Sniper was Mark Wahlberg.
But Snipers.
But this is the one where they're all like that unit and they're like slowly dying off and they're trying to escape. I can't remember what it was called.
God. Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor. Oh my God, that was such a good movie. Oh, that movie slapped so much, dude.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard that it's really good.
It's really good. It's totally worth the watch. I think it's my turn to read too. Oh yeah, it is. Anomalies OPFOR unidentified. However, outgoing net during distress call indicates that OPFOR is extremely dangerous and engages at close range break. There is no Blue 4 on site. I repeat, Maine has stationed there, no Blue 4 on site, and we are not to drop in any all packs we see.
Op 4 is opposing force, by the way. So
yeah,
enemies,
I knew that
they haven't identified that one. And Blue 4, I think, is blue forces, so friendlies.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. I don't know.
You know what Blue Force might be? Cops.
You know what? Let's just... Okay.
I mean, it's an easy Google. But I think it's...
Blue Force, representing friendly or allied forces in simulations or war games. So yeah, Red Force, yeah, okay. Alright,
cool.
A few seconds passed as the captain looked back to the park ranger.
Any additional comments, Rangers Clemens?
The man was maybe in his mid-40s, balding. He scratched the back of his neck, clearing his throat before speaking.
Whatever took your friends out, it's tough. I had lots of gunfire coming up from down there. And don't split up whatever you do in these woods. Don't split up.
Our medic laughed.
Well, that's just fucking comforting.
The captain nodded to the man as he headed back in.
Noted. Everybody watch your 6s, 12s, and fucking 5s. Let's go.
We picked up and moved out. Everyone had their kind of final moments type of readiness drill they did before stepping out onto the path into the woods. Same shit we did before stepping out into the fobs and compounds back east. I let out one final breath of hot air in the cold. Our medic slapped the side of his helmet, hyping himself up. The captain pulled out and kissed a small crucifix necklace from underneath his combat shirt. The kind of stuff you weren't technically allowed to wear, as regs say, but none of us were snitches. We headed down the pathway, following the captain in a staggered column, a zigzag-style formation. Our IR lasers scanned the trees, rocks, and foliage around us, looking desperately for any hostiles that lurked in the darkness. Though to our paranoid readiness, nothing appeared, but something was definitely following us. It's common topic when we move through the forest environments to listen to the animals around you. The crickets, the birds, the movement of animals, and what direction they were heading, how fast. Moving down that path, we couldn't hear a goddamn thing. It's common when you're a group of heavily armed green men moving through a forest at night that some of the squirrels and birds will run the hell away. But not the crickets or the bird songs in the distance. There's a certain level of ambience that animals will maintain even if they detect human sound. There was none of that. Nothing. Not a cricket, a bird, a cicada, nothing.
Cicada.
Cicada?
Yeah, dude, I actually had this, we've never recorded late enough, but over here in Florida where I'm at right now, dude, you outside, it's like...
See, I love cicada noises. We get them up here as like a yearly, it's not a yearly, it's like every 17 or 28 years or something like that. We get some huge plague of them that comes up out of the ground. And then occasionally on summers, you'll get like a little patch of cicadas somewhere. But I like the way that he spelled it. Zacada. We spell it Cicada. This guy is Zacada. I like that.
I don't know how they're spelled. I just know that what they are because of every night I come home and it's just ever since I moved here,
chirping and chirping.
So I've been the last 2 years I've been here, right? It's just ever since I moved in my house, it's just brah, 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 and I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like shimmying in the bed all naked. I'm like, oh, I love it, dude.
It's one of my favorite sounds because it sounds like deep summer.
Yeah. It reminds me of like Legend of Bagger Vance or some shit. Like
yeah, right.
You know, just that deep
sound.
The
camera panning down over like the lake and trees.
Yeah. It's almost every movie in the South, but like any country movie where it's like we live in the sticks and stuff. Do you hear the cicadas?
Jedi. So calm and all the SF units attached to it are referred to as silent professionals. It's in our name. So when I could hear the motherfucker 10 meters ahead of me breathing as we moved through that dead forest, it told me that something else was here in these woods with us. A predator. And that the forest was more afraid of it than us. After a long stretch of marching down the trail, the captain held up a hand signaling a halt. As it got down to my part of the column, the middle section, he called over the radio.
This is lead on me time now.
We quickly rushed up to what we saw was a metal chain link fence. 4 of our weapons sergeants and the medic took up security covering the wood line behind us, as I and the other remaining one went up to the gate with the captain. The park's trail carried on for a few more meters before stopping dead into some trees. The dirt path broke off and formed a gravel one that led into a sectioned off area behind a chain link fence and gate. A no trespassers sign hung high, and just beyond the gate, we could see a small guard shack. The captain tried to signal whoever might be in there by switching on the Surefire tack light on his rifle, shining it and Lasso waving it all over the booth. What the fuck? However, upon stopping...
So he's going like this on it.
Yeah, I get you. I thought it was like you did for a second. I was like,
baby, I'm over here.
I was like, this guy is special forces, and he's like, hold on, let me turn on my high beam.
Yeah, well...
there'd be no way.
That would be amazing. I mean, that's what I would do.
I'm the lure.
I'd be out there just jamming it, bro. Just jamming, and they're like, Captain, what's wrong with you? I'm like, dude, staying alive, brother, staying alive.
Yeah, right. You're like, on me, I said, now, do it! And everyone's like, I don't know. However, upon stopping and entering on a doorway, we saw a large amount of blood splashed on the black wall and pooled over the floor, an arm laying halfway out the door frame. The captain looked to the other weapons sergeant with us.
Get your kit.
He nodded, slinging his rifle as he dropped his assault pack, digging out a small pair of bolt cutters. Each of the weapons sergeants carried a different loadout depending on what we needed. One always carried an M46, the lighter, less garbage version of the saw. Another always brought a 320 with plenty of 40mm. Can't name him, but Breach Man, as I guess I'll call him, always carried a breach kit just in case. Breacher walked over to the lock, but just as he got the blades of the cutter around the lock, we heard it. It sounded like it came from everywhere, and yet far away at the same time. Maybe it was the echo of the forest, or maybe something attributed to its abilities. It sounded like a woman, yelling in pain, in agony, and yet the voice was half gargled, like it was morphed with that of a dying animal, and it had an underlying, low-tone pitch beneath it. It got under the skin of everyone. Those pulling security immediately jumped their shit, scanning left, right, up, down. Hell, even the medic, big stocky dude, grew up in Brooklyn, played football before he joined, meaning he was yoked as all hell when he got into our unit. The guy who once stuck his fucking fingers into a man's neck to plug his blood looked around nervously.
Brooklyn, hold down. Little Miss Muffin, what the hell was that?
Our weapons sergeant with the M46 shook his head as he scanned the far-off terrain, muttering in a low voice.
This is some horror movie bullshit right now.
I remember holding my rifle's grip tight. Everyone was equally unnerved. Everyone except for the captain. He told us to press on.
Fuck shakes, tighten up your jockstrap, ladies, let's go.
He snapped the lock off. Immediately, the captain and I moved in and cleared the small booth, as two more weapon sergeants and our medic took up covering down the gravel road. It was a guard. No name tape or company logo. Decked out in black plate carrier. The carrier jacket of which had been torn into, as a large hole covered the entire area of his solar plexus, which was now fragmented and broken inside of his mulched upper body. Mulched?
Jeez,
Oh,
dude, bro
good
got
lord.
obliterated. Something got in
He got
there.
argoed.
Oh my god, dude.
Alright, cool.
I'm like, there's something about like these military horror. It's like one of my favorite horror movies of all time is Predator. It's just that there's something about there's something about people that are super qualified to take something on, and the thing is killable. I always like when the thing is killable and it's a super capable group, but they're still dying off. That's why I like Aliens 2 better than Alien. Like I definitely like it more. I mean, for me, Aliens got the scares and stuff, but like nothing's as scary as that scene in Aliens where we're trapped in the room and all these military guys can't get in, and she's trying to like get away from the little scrabber. It's the idea of having all the resources and those still aren't enough. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's such a scary story beat to have this like highly trained group come into a situation and then like in just a second like half of them gets wiped out, that type of thing. I agree that's a cool tone setting. Alright, so let's learn about this body. No bullet wounds, no bullet holes. Just a large fucking stab wound that looked like he got ran through by a fucking lamppost. Even under all the ethos and grit, my breath still caught in my throat as I grunted to clear it. The captain stepped out of the small booth, splitting hard into the grass, shaking his head. The medic prodded him.
Wait, what was it like?
He grunted, walking to the front of our formation.
Don't matter, Sawbones.
Fine.
Oh.
Leave me in the dark.
I don't like the way he formats this. We formed up and moved down the gravel road in a wedge column. The captain and 3 weapon sergeants to the front wedge, with the medic, me, and 2 other WS in the back one, the comm sergeant in the middle. We entered the facility lot. Immediately the comm sergeant linked up with the captain, and I could hear him alerting Maine.
This is Raider Lead. We've reached the building.
Though it makes me wonder, if he used the comm sergeant radio to reach our HQ, who was he talking to on that other channel? The lot was clear, and we got a good look at the facility. It was a gray concrete rectangle, maybe the size of a small gas station. Floodlights mounted on the bottom illuminated the gravel lot up to the dense, shadowy woodline that lay just beyond the chain-link fence. The woodline that was still quiet. The mass scale carnage we were told about was present outside the building. Several guards, all in various states of mutilation, similar to the guard... Several guards, all in various states of mutilation, similar to the gate guard, were strewn about the gravel lot. However, unlike the gate guard, strangely, they were in heavier body armor, with rifles capable of going automatic, and spent brass everywhere. Me and some of the other guys got online and cleared out the back. Exasperated breaths and muttering came from all of us.
Shit, 556. What were we gonna do against it?
One weapon sergeant muttered. The medic kicked one guy over, surveying the large chest wound punching through his kit.
Yeah, listen guys, don't get hit.
But the question remained. What the fuck hit these guys? The captain chimed in.
Raiders. On me. Time now.
We hauled ass back to him as we stacked up at the door. Flowing in, we were greeted to a lobby. Torn up, furniture thrown everywhere. Impact marks from rounds hitting the concrete lined the walls and ceiling. One dead guard slumped against a red-stained part of the wall, the other in a crumpled heap. A woman at the desk, not a guard, just a fucking staff member, sat back in her chair, her entire torso area torn apart. As we passed by her and headed through the double doors behind her, her empty dead eyes met mine. The comm sergeant eyed her as we all moved for the door.
She was unarmed.
I can see that. Keep chatter to a minimum.
We cleared through a double doors to be greeted by a porcelain hallway leading to a set of stairs leading to a sublevel. The entire surface, ceiling, walls, floor was lined with ceramic white tiles. Ceramic white tiles that were like the rest of the scene so far, stained with the blood, guts, and even brain matter of the unlucky guards laid out all the way down the stairs. I counted 8. 17 so far. A flickering light could be seen through the wire glass windows of the double doors at the bottom. The captain ordered us to flow in through both sides, and we did. Pushing in, we could see we entered into a T-style hallway. It gets a bit complicated here. Either end of the T dead-ended, while the middle, one shot forward far down into a hall leading... Wait a minute. They're split up. Flow in through both sides. Yeah, this is breaking the rules, man.
Well, I mean, it would break horror rules, but, like, military, it would be like, this way, we'll converge.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess.
It's a floor sweep. You don't just say, oh, we're gonna go this way. If there's somebody over here, we'll just let them come up right behind us. That's what we'll do.
Yeah. No, let that guy go.
Yeah.
Either end of the T dead-ended, while the middle one shot forward down the hall, leading to 2 reinforced blast doors at the very end. 2 immediate labs on either side were reinforced with wire glass, and despite several cracks, impact marks, bullet holes, and even holes made in the glass, they held.
The hell kind of glass is this shit made of?
One of the weapons sergeants said, scanning the lab through the glass.
Ballistic.
Oh. Ballistic glass.
The comm sergeant said, much to the rifleman's dismay.
Well, yeah, no shit. But how many fucking rounds is that? Why didn't they just take cover in here?
The medic said. The captain sighed.
Seems to be pointed to a surprise attack from the inside. Emphasis on surprise, jackass.
The medic fired back.
Well, sure, but it's just a door.
While the hallways outside were a mess of blood, gore, guards thrown around as they were ripped apart, creating a mess of bodies.
Weapons.
What the fuck?
What?
Okay, never mind. I couldn't see how this sentence was. While the hallways outside were a mess of blood, gore, guards thrown around as they were ripped apart, creating a mess of bodies, weapons, and more spent brass, the lab techs had their white coats stained with their own blood. My blood, and I think everyone else's, started to run cold as the pieces came together. Whatever killed them did so indiscriminately. We formed a rolling T, heading down into the hall, braving the dim flickering lights. The weapons sergeant with the M46, our gunner, stuck to the middle. I was on his right, another rifle on his left, and the captain just behind controlling each of us. The rest of the group flowed in behind, scanning the side labs with us and covering our rear. The windowed labs ended halfway, with 2 solid white doors near the double doors at the end on either side, leading to closed-off labs. The captain had us pull guard on both of the side doors as the gunner aimed back down the hallway. Everyone else took up security wherever it was needed. The captain eyed the door, feeling the cracks and lines of the blast doors, looking for gaps that didn't exist. Blood had slowly leaked out of the bottom, causing him to pick up his boot and eye it, and yet no openings existed. An electronic pad was positioned on the right side of the doors. The captain eyed it. It was a hand scanner. I didn't even think those actually existed. He jumped on this net, the private freak I keep mentioning.
I do like, so he does format. This guy does have a weird formatting. I think his writing's really good, but at the same time, it is messing with your flow, brother. It is messing with your flow. You'll be doing good, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, not again.
Yeah, he's got like these like paragraph long run-on sentences with multiple lists in the middle of them. I'm like, brother, you gotta break these sentences up.
Wait, didn't you say you've read like Blood Meridian and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was ready for something a little bit more Reddit written than this.
I mean, he definitely loves his punctuation. He just doesn't always add in like that period to end the sentences. But
yeah.
But at the same time, you've read Blood Meridian, brother, and that dude doesn't use any punctuation.
That's true. You have to read it with no periods at all.
I just had to throw a little shade at you for that, just a little bit, Mr. Flex's books last episode, and as soon as you get into the run-on sentences, you get cooked.
I get cooked by them when I'm narrating run-on sentences. You need to write these for me to read them, Mr. Hip Forest Has Eyes. You need to be like, is this in Ben's voice? I keep jumping around between like light country voice, like no nonsense, like vet, no bullshit voice, to like just regular, like when I'm leading him, like he waited for a few seconds of deafening silence. He made an internal chuckle. Like that's what I keep doing. I'm like just snapping back and forth.
Well, the way I see the writing too, that kind of works is I see it more like somebody in the military's perspective. They don't care about any of this other stuff. They're just jotting it down as it goes.
Well, that's why I'm trying not to sound like scared. Like I'm not like he jumped on his net. The private frequency I kept mentioning. Like I'm trying to be like this is weird, right? Instead of like I'm scared.
Turn this into like, that Barry. Yeah, you've seen the show Barry, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know when they're reenacting his first kill, and they're all crying and shit.
Yes, dude. Yeah,
I took a human life, and they're like, dude, I just got that fucker.
Dude, when they reenact their traumas is like my favorite thing, and one guy's trauma is like being born or something.
Exactly.
Dude, I fucking love that. That show is so good.
Okay, I'm at the doors. Yeah, at the far end. There's a hand scanner.
He waited a few seconds of deafening silence. He made an internal chuckle as he walked over to the dead body of a guard, kicking its arm.
Got one right here. I'm sorry, repeat last. Alive?
He rubbed his face, cursing under his breath.
Fuck.
He shook his head, turning on the white light of his rifle and scanning the corpses.
This place is a goddamn slaughterhouse. How am I gonna...
A crash emanated from the white lab door to the right of the blast doors, the one I was covering. Everyone paused for a second, and a second... you're really fucking with my head now. Everyone paused for a second, as a second weapons sergeant aimed his laser at it. The captain turned, aiming his laser at the door as he approached.
Might have one, or might have OPFOR. Actually, wait, one, over!
The captain formed up as first man in the stack, an unusual practice, but everyone else fell behind. I was second man, two more made third and a fourth. The weapons sergeant felt the edges of the door, then tried the handle. Locked. Him trying the handle must have alerted whatever was inside, because a voice bellowed out.
I'm in here! Please, I'll let you in! Just don't shoot!
The doorman looked to the captain, who nodded.
Might have a blue 4 inside. Stay sharp. Wait for me to fire.
There wasn't supposed to be any blue 4 on site. The door's electronic lock opened up with a metallic clank. The doorman grabbed the handle and pulled it open as the four of us entered the room. We pushed through. The captain hooked left, I pushed forward, the other two followed one of us respectively, our lasers centered on the room, and a pair of hands emerging from behind a lab table.
Please!
A voice weakly shouted. The captain stormed over.
Hands now! I'll shoot you, I swear to God, if you don't put your goddamn hands up!
As this person stood up, we saw the hands were connected to a scientist, possibly late 30s, stringy hair connected to a rat-like face with circular glasses. Glasses that flew off when the captain closed the distance, shoving him against the metal cabinet, spittle flying from the bearded mouth behind the NVGs as he barked at him.
ID, where is it? Show it!
The captain began roughly searching the lab tech as he pulled out his ID. He grabbed it, shoving him to the weapons sergeant on his side of the room. The lab tech was kicked down to his knee. Immediately, the weapons sergeant aimed his rifle at the back of his head. The captain jumped back on the freak.
I'm back. Possible blue 4. Prepare for ID code.
He read it off in phonetics before he got the response. He looked to the weapons sergeant guarding the lab tech.
Get his ass up.
The lab tech was roughly pulled to his feet. I felt a bit bad, seeing as he gave off the impression of an innocent Harvard intern that just wanted to learn bioscience. They got wrapped up in something and then abused by a group of operators. Keyword, felt.
Please, I don't know what's going on. I was just running some chemical tests. We gotta get out of here before.
The captain got up in the man's face.
Shut up.
He did.
You know what you've been fucking doing? I know what you son of a bitch has been doing out here. Open them doors right now.
The man looked shocked.
Open them goddamn doors!
With a point from the captain, the weapons sergeant shoved the man forward into the door frame. The man crumbled a little bit as the captain laughed, and he gestured me to get him up with a single index finger.
Take your sweet time, don't you? Let's
I
go.
picked him up by his shirt collar and dragged him over to the blast doors. The captain pushed him out of my grip, shoving him face first into the doors.
Hand on scanner, now!
As the captain grabbed the man by his wrist, the lab tech struggled to get free.
Please, I don't have access. I'm trying to hide. Let me go.
The medic winced at the sight of it, uncharacteristically of a Green Beret. Especially for a jaded-as-all-hell medic, he spoke up.
Cap, come on.
The captain just turned, staring daggers into the man as he wrestled for the man's wrist. His intense stare broke a bit with a laugh as he looked down at the lab tech.
Just wait till y'all see. I'm telling you. Oh, is this the captain?
As the man... I think so, yeah.
Just wait till y'all see, I'm telling you.
As the man struggled against the captain, the weapons sergeant came up from behind, shoving the man into the blast door, allowing the captain to easily place it on the scanner. The scanner lit up in a bright blue, as several lines traced and looked over his handprint. It then flashes green as the electronic locks of the blast doors begin to open up. The captain dropped the man.
Well, goodness gracious, what do you all know?
The doors slowly pulled open. The room was dark. Red flashing emergency lights flashed all around as the sound of broken glass scraped against the floor. A steam of murky blue liquid, mixed in with the blood of several guards' bodies that were revealed at the doorway, leaked out into the hall. The captain grabbed the lab tech by the collar, dragging him to his feet.
Y'all know these men, don't you, friends?
The captain shoved him through the doorway, the lab tech slipping on the fluids and glass, cutting his right hand with a wince. We flowed in and what laid inside. I've said this at the start. I've been deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria. I've seen mass graves that terrorist cells have used in far-off countries filled with entire villages worth of people. I've seen kill dens inside tunnel systems. This surpassed all of that. Every horror, every war crime, multiple times over. A series of gigantic glass tubes lined the walls. Walls made out of monitors, hard drives, and computer systems. The path of carnage led through the pile of guards at the doorway. That makes 24 armed personnel that were taken out by something. What really bothered me was that in those murky blue and green fucking glass tubes, as big as a refrigerator connected to a port at the bottom on top, tubes and wires inside connecting to... The captain shoved the lab tech into a glass tube. The pop of the man's nose echoed off the empty area as he grabbed his nose.
Well, Doc, which one was it? Which goddamn tube?
Tube? Which was he talking about? How did he know? What was he told? Who was on the freak? The lab tech spit out blood leaking into his mouth as the captain, standing at 6'5", a giant even among a team of brawny SOF operators, picked him up by the collar of his blue undershirt.
I don't...
Two weapons sergeants ducked out of the way as the captain got in his face, shoving him up against the sweat wall, causing the monitors and computer systems to beep and light up. I like how most of this story is all of the violence in this story has just been the captain beating up a nerd.
Oh yeah, dude.
I fucking love it, dude.
This
Hell
nerd's
yeah.
getting wrecked, bro. You know what I think? I'm gonna have a moment where I think I know what's coming. I think this lab guy is evil because he kind of laid the breadwork for what that lab guy was at first. You just kind of felt bad for him, but I feel like the captain knows what this scoonbag's been doing, and I feel like they've been doing some messed up experiments that the government didn't know the full reality to.
I think that I've already connected the two. We've got people disappearing in the woods of the national park. Then we've got all these tubes lining the walls of this secret facility and stuff. Yeah, they're experimenting on people down here, man.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be cool. Whatever this creature is, I'm excited to see it. It's my turn, right? It's where I'm at. Right?
Yeah, Captain, I think.
Oh, you don't know? And yeah, your little hands open up that room you didn't have access to.
He roared, abandoning all silence and discretion now as the man began to sputter and sob.
Please!
The captain gritted his teeth. He quickly flipped up his nods and stared daggers into the man's soul.
How many people you snatched off that trail? How many? Those What kinds of butchering do you do to those kids before you suck them all in here? Which one escaped?
Kids. Butchering? Something in my mind stopped, and I switched on my rifle's tack light. A heavy pit in my stomach formed as I flashed on those tubes. There were people in those tubes. They were people. Wires and tubes now poked into the see-through and murky flesh as the bodies of the kidnapped floated, mutated, dissected, and changed. One person's skin ran reptilian-like up their left arm, before merging with a strange gaping hole in their chest, their skull protruding out of the skin in their head. My breathing stuttered a bit as I backed up a few steps, glass crunching under my boots. Curses muttered by the others in the room as we all began to look. Another one's mouth was sealed at the front. Two more jagged, messed up sets of teeth poked out either side. Their eyes were sealed, skin covering defined sockets on their head. Oh my god! These are horrifying!
Yeah.
They're making Cenobites, dude!
Oh, I love the visual. So this guy's done a really good job of painting a visual of this whole thing. And I'm like,
yes.
I'm like really in with these tubes of just like destroyed abomination people.
If they all break out and start fighting, I'm turning off this podcast forever. if it's like,
yeah, you don't want to see it turn into Doom. You don't want to.
They just look at each other and they start fighting. They're like, Wirehead.
The
Wirehead.
Wirehead.
No, not this guy again. The medic flashed his on one where their spine stuck out through their back. Their spine stuck out through their back. The vertebrae was larger than a normal person's. The bones sticking out inches longer in some areas. Their legs bending backward like a dog's.
Jesus, man, this shit's...
He gagged a bit, coughing as he looked away. I had to pry my eyes. My mind was frying just looking at...
They better be dead, or I swear to the Lord himself, if they ain't...
The captain said sternly, as the man sobbed and nodded.
Yes.
The captain raised an eyebrow.
You sure?
Yes, they died in surgery.
If you're lying to me, I swear to Christ, I will give you my secondary and make you euthanize every single fucking one of them.
The captain shoved the lab tech forward, into the center of the aisle. I looked down, shaking my head as the images of those things, those former humans now, I don't know, images burned into the film of my brain.
Well, where's she gone, Doctor?
The captain said sternly, squaring up to the man who sobbed as he shrugged.
Where is it?
The man continued to cry.
It escaped. It killed everyone. It cut through the gods. It cut through everyone. It killed all of my friends.
This caused the captain to nearly bust a fucking blood vessel from the look he gave him, balling up his fist and driving the armored knuckle of his Oakley gloves into the gut of the lab tech. This caused the smaller, weaker, spineless lab tech to buckle over, dropping to his hands and knees, now favoring an injured hand and probably burst spleen.
Your friends? Your friends? You mean the friends that kidnapped a 22-year-old girl, a mother of 3, a 14-year-old son, and turned them into fucking monsters? What about them, huh?
I know that these are 3 different people, but we're combining these into one family. There's a 22-year-old girl who's a mother of 3 with her 14-year-old son.
Hell yeah, boy.
Yeah, Mormons.
That's a little dark. That got really dark really fast.
This earned only more sobs from the lab tech, as the captain turned, hands on his hips, and scoffed. He looked at the medic, who only stared back in through his nods. The captain turned to look at him.
You got to the count of 10, and if you don't give me a single whereabouts of this thing, I will start grabbing tools and cutting your little weasel ass up. Y'all did like y'all did to these kids.
The captain loomed over the man, grabbing him by his hair.
So please.
The lab tech pleaded.
1, 2, 3.
The captain counted. Some of us looked away, others shook their heads. Not out of the shame of our leader. There wasn't a man in the room who wouldn't do what he did right now after seeing them.
He said it was. You heard it. He did this.
The captain laughed, letting go of the man's hair as he whipped his head forward.
Y'all hear it? It's in the fucking woods.
He pulled out his M17, his 9mm sidearm, pulling the slide back a bit to make sure it was chambered.
4, 5, 6.
The man stood up at this point. I kicked out his extended leg, dropping him back to his knees. The man looked at me, then at the captain.
You can't do this. This is illegal.
Before the captain could finish his...
You can't do this. This is illegal.
Before the captain could finish his count, we heard it. It echoed all the way down the facility halls, reverberating off the glass tubes in the room. That half-feminine, half-monstrous cry. Except this time it didn't come from the far-off mountains or trees. It came from up the fucking stairs. Then the lights went out. Hell yeah, dude, haunted house time. Hell yeah, right on cue. I don't know if it was prior damage to the facility, the electric works, or something else. Timing. It was narrative timing. But they zapped out. The lights in the halls, the lights on the stairs, the lights in the room, the electronics, the lights in the tanks, all of it. It cried out again, and this time, I think I heard it say,
Help me!
Anyone who had their nods up flicked them down, as all of us trained our lasers down the dark hall beyond the doors. The slight shakiness of all the green lasers told the same stories. All of the death, all that shit in the tanks, had everyone spooked. The captain came up alongside me into the medic. He looked back to the lab tech.
You run, you die.
The man swallowed and smothered his misery.
Oh
The captain corrected him in a low tone.
no. No, you really don't.
The creature cried out again.
Help me!
The sounds of something hard impacting the tile floor sounded out as it approached us through the dark abyss. More footsteps, then another cry. The gunner lets out a shaky breath as he cracks his neck. More footsteps, another cry.
Help me!
It was maybe 5 meters from the door now.
Lord Almighty.
The captain muttered. I couldn't see much in that darkness then, but I saw what everyone else saw. I saw enough. Its body was easily 6 foot tall. 2 gigantic, bony, mantis-like legs that were dark from blood stepped into the doorway. Its head was smooth, its large teeth shining in the darkness, and its eyes glowed like an animal. Its eyes glowed. It could see us. We all froze. We had rifles trained on it, a fucking machine gun trained on it, a room full of Green Berets, the best of the best, and everyone froze. The captain was the first to fire, slamming his trigger as he shot 223 Death into that crime against existence. The gunner opened up as well, and then the medic. 2 more weapon sergeants also shot it. It yelled at us, cried out like an agonized woman pleading for help. Then, it lunged. Running and slamming through a test tube, glass flew everywhere, causing several of us to shield our faces as the water flooded the floor and the deformed body that was inside flopped down near our feet. A horrendous, rotted smell filled the air.
Fucking Jesus!
The medic sputtered out, gagging a bit as he kicked it away. The creature now screamed as a rifleman that it jumped near backed up. It leaped on top of him, shoving that bony mandible into his left shoulder, pinning him to the ground as he screamed, thrashing his elbow into the thing as he kicked its stomach. But it didn't attack him. It just eyed the scientist. He attempted to run for his life, but the thing jumped on top of him, pinning him face first into the murky, wet floor. That's when I noticed the 6 smaller, human-like arms on its torso. Its main mandible pinned him to the ground. The arms, some normal, some with bony spikes for fingers, others just lined with fucking sharp teeth, began to rip into the man's back. The lab tech screamed. His coat was torn open as it began to dig down into his back. Some still fired shots, but the man didn't even react. Some still fired shots, but the thing didn't even react. It didn't even move. It just continued to tear into that vile but poor son of a bitch. The captain's voice lit up the comms as he and the medic rushed to pick the man up and heave him on the captain's shoulders.
We can't engage him here outside now!
He was right. It thrived on close quarters. It ran guys through before they could pick it apart. We all ran, nerves shot, weapons hot from firing into a thing that didn't react, just acted off of animalistic intent. The power off. The power was off, so we couldn't close the blast doors. All we could do was run. I nearly slipped on the glass as we booked it out of there, firing some desperate pot shots into the lab with the gunner. The lab tech's screams echoed throughout the hallway as we booked it up the stairs. It was going to be done with him soon.
Ouchie, ow, ow, my pain.
The gunner, they're both screaming, "Help me," at the same time. Help me! No, help me! No, help me!
Help me! Ouchie, oh, oh, oh.
I didn't mean to! The gunner and I covered the captain as we broke out into the open air, the smell of rot and death replaced by the open, piney air of the forest. Several men broke out road flares, tossing them everywhere and giving us much-needed light in the form of greens, blues, reds, and purples. The captain dropped the man behind a beaten-up and wrecked sedan, as the medic began to patch him up. The gunner deployed his bipod and aimed at the doors of the facility from the car's hood. The captain positioned different men to where they could all fire on the door, far enough away from the thing's grasp.
Romeo, get that fucking met and call it in the air.
The comm sergeant began to go to work behind the sedan, which was now a makeshift command point. It took aim behind a large SUV with several other weapons sergeants. We all aimed at the door. The screaming had stopped. The silence was broken by its bony mandibles as it rushed out into the open air, and with all the flares and chem lights, and even the captain's tack light, we finally got a good look. Its skin was a mix between pink from its exposed muscles to a see-through clear layer covering its other parts. Bony, calcium-like armor had formed over a lot of its body, and its back legs formed smaller mandible-like features at the back. And its head. An exposed skull. All too human eyes peering out in its rage, as its larger, unhinged jaw opened, and it roared out its deafening cry at us. The gunner was also the first to open up. The blast of 5.56 tore through the armor on its spike legs and torso. The thing recoiled at first, and then hissed, as it charged forward. The captain rolled from his place in front of the sedan's side. The thing stuck its two large mandibles into the roof, badly denting it. The medic quickly covered the wounded weapons sergeant, shielding him as the thing peered down at the two. The captain quickly got its attention, aiming fire at the back of its head. It roared with a vengeance as it charged at the captain. He fell back to the sedan, running out of our line of fire as the thing barreled toward us. The thing struck a pointed limb inside of the hood, impaling it, and then another, just to my left. I circled around and behind it as I fired. It cried out, blood now pouring from its wounds as its calcium plating was cracking and falling off en masse. The thing turned to me. As I flicked my M4 to auto and laid into it, it just barreled at me, shoving me to the ground. Its smaller, demonic hands reached for me as I licked them away. I'm keeping it. Its jaws snapped as I held my rifle in the way, shielding my face as it gnawed on the metal.
Well, licked is also like hitting something. It has multiple.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I know. In your head, you were picturing this like,
yeah.
Get away
it's like
from
little,
me, arms.
It's little tiny demon hands, and he's like, and it like sends it flying off. Yeah,
I'll show you, big monster.
And then it stops attacking stuff after he licks it, and they're like, keep going.
Keep going.
He's like,
he just gets naked. He's bouncing on all fours after it. Come here, big gal. Ooh, I just can't wait to rub my cat-like tongue on you. It's real dry and scratchy.
That's all it needed. It just needed a good licking. The thing pointed a limb. Oh wait, yeah, no, that was right. It fell back to the sedan as bell post. The thing stuck a pointed limb inside the hood, impaling it just to my left.
Yeah, the thing turned.
No, licked him away. Oh, the gunner. Okay, here we go. The gunner then blasted a chunk of its exposed skull away, staggering it as it turned. The captain whipped its stock into the thing's head, then backpedaled as he fired off another burst of rounds. The thing turned at him, roaring viciously as the captain dropped his empty mag. He slapped in a fresh one as the thing lunged at him, both of its front limbs raised. The glass exploded out of the SUV's windows as the captain dropped levels, firing into its stomach as he circled out back into the open. The creature roared as it went to move for him again. But it couldn't. Its large mandibles were stuck all the way inside of the vehicle. The captain let his rifle hang slung on his front as he reached for something on his kit. It was small, 16 ounces of steel with a metal spoon and pin. An M67 fragmentation grenade. He turned toward us.
Get back!
Everyone who was in the open ducked for cover. The gunner and several weapons sergeants retreated behind a series of concrete jersey barriers. I ran and slid behind the sedan, helping the medics shield our wounded battle buddy. I heard the distinct sound of the spoon flying and the whistling of the grenade. The captain vaulted himself over the car hood with the comm sergeant, covering his radio operator's head as they both went prone. The explosion was thunderous. The shockwave of the grenade shook everyone and even rattled me a bit from behind the so goddamn close. From being so goddamn close, there we go. Shrapnel and fragments flew everywhere, impacting the concrete barriers, the building. Any windows on the sedan that already weren't broken were shattered. A few seconds passed as we all hesitantly started to lift our heads, then dropped them as the SUV's gas tank seemingly erupted and detonated, engulfing the wreck in a fireball too large I felt the flames... Engulfing the wreck in a fireball too large I felt like the flames were touching my fucking face. The captain popped up, aiming on top of the hood of the car. Then I and several others joined him, peeking from behind our points of cover as we looked to see if it had done it. The SUV was a burned skeleton, an inferno from all the ignited gasoline covering the frame, the ground around it, and the beast, as it definitely pulled its last remaining limb, its front left one, the only appendage it had left, and stumbled out from the flames. Its skin popped, its muscles boiled, and with all of the see-through skin and bone plating torn and burnt off, it gazed around, its eyes ruptured and melted. The gravel crunched as its charred and burning body slumped forward. The captain emerged from behind the Vic, as only a few of us dared to approach the thing. He lifted his nods, this time pulling his M17 back up and aiming it at the thing's head. 1, 2, 3 shots into the thing's head, the damaged and charred skull caving in. A circle of light illuminated us as the rotary blades of the Blackhawk sounded out overhead. I shielded my face and lifted my nods to avoid the spotlight blinding me.
OBFOR, actual down, building secure.
The ensuing hour was one that was just shrouded in, I don't know, mystery, I guess. The captain went against prior missions of telling us to go prone and pull security, putting the gunner at the sedan by the gate, and telling the rest of us to watch the woodline. When the vans showed up, that's when he told us to chill out. They weren't really vans, they were more like armored trucks. Now, for the sake of being classified and remaining anonymous, I can't divulge a lot about them. I'm definitely not saying that black shirts were wearing black multicam combat uniforms with kits, armor, and gear available that would definitely make them a private sector group. I'm not saying their uniforms were sterilized with all patches, logos, and markers stripped. I'm not saying that the hazmat suits looked way beyond anything our MOP system has, with our built-in air coolers and multiple layers of protection. I'm not saying they brought several metal cases in from their armored Vics. And I'm not saying they brought an advanced surveillance drone with them. I will say that they weren't really hostile. Fuck, one of them even offered us a cigarette. The bird landed at the opposite side of the building, the open lot where they eventually told us to head. We prepared our guy for case vac on a litter with the Blackhawk and loaded up as the captain finished talking to some guy in a suit. He was much shorter, maybe 5'8". He bore the look of a younger but still weathered man. Oh, it's the G-Man! Yeah. His hair was slicked back and he had a hard part, and the protruding spot on his left side beneath his coat told me he was armed, with something that wasn't meant for concealment. The captain eventually joined us. As soon as the aviation crew shut the door, he popped his helmet off, much to their anger, and slumped back in his seat. When we touched base and got back to the COP, our sister team, Artemis, was put on QRF, and we were let off for the weekend. I've been thinking about that shit for days now, about what those people did to them in that lab, what the captain said. They kidnapped them, cut them up, changed them. All for what? Some sick fantasy? Who the fuck even owned the lab? There were no US markings, and the guards weren't armed with anything the military had. It was all private sector. Like I said before, there's still a lot I don't know, but what I do know is that those fuckers got exactly what they deserved. That thing crying out for help, pleading for us to make its suffering end, took it to that fucker in the lab for kidnapping all those people, for mutilating them and turning them into stillborn corpses to... The more I think about it, the more it makes me sick. I don't know who the fuck those guys were that relieved us. They didn't have any markings. Some of them were speaking fucking German if my memory serves. But whoever they are, I hope they learn from their mistakes. And never tamper with that evil shit again.
That was interesting. That was like...
Logan did, hell yeah.
That was cool. That was
very cool.
That was very cool. That was very cool. It was,
It was very well written and very poorly edited. I have to take it to task for this. I won't always point that out, but this was all the author's fault, not mine.
bro,
So long, folks. Have a good one.
bro stumble fucked and he's like, not my fault, your fault, you stupid idiot.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny, bro.
No, it was very well written though. I loved this. This was so cool, man. I was expecting a little bit more give and take between the monster and the group. It seemed like they cleaned it up pretty fucking fast.
Yeah,
Like it got out.
These guys
They
knew
were
what they were doing.
very,
These guys
very
knew what they were
efficient
doing.
special
It
forces.
was more just the
Yeah.
idea of the lab and everything, and I think it
it was like a scene more than it was like he just wanted to take you down there and show you this lab and show you the cool monster fight and then finish it out real quick.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a whole deep thing where it goes back and forth, stuff like that. There wasn't really like a health bar to the monster. I guess I'll put it that way. Like they didn't need to like figure out the thing to kill it or anything like that. That's where I was kind of expecting it to go to.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, they just
so
kind
did
of ended that thing.
I thought more people were gonna die. I think it's the weapons tech. The weapons tech, I gave him like 4 different voices.
Yeah. Well, there were a bunch of different weapons techs, and it never really designated which one was talking. So there was a basket of interchangeable voice potential there.
Yeah, that was the only thing. Like, there was like, I felt like there was like 2 characters I knew, or 3 characters that I knew, and then the other 2 guys just kind of rotated in and out because there was 4 people. And in my head, there was a bigger squad to begin with, so I was doing a bunch of different voices early on, and then they just didn't talk for the rest of it. But I thought for sure they were just gonna all. I thought like weapons tech and like Squibble, big ol' assault man. I thought they were gonna get mashed up, dude.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I thought that at least a couple of the spec forces were gonna die to the monster, but we just got like one guy got stabbed, and that was really it. Which is fine. That's cool too. I don't need them all to get massacred or anything like that. I just think that this was a really cool story. What it does, it makes me very, very curious if this is like a continuous thing. Like, are we rejoining?
So actually, I was looking into that. If you go to stories on his website, you go to stories. He looks like what he does is he has like different teams and he writes whole stories on these teams. So if you scroll down,
okay, I see it now. Yeah.
an occult hunters. Oh, that looks hella. I like the I like an occult.
The artwork for that's fucking badass.
Yeah. But if you scroll down, there is another 4th Special Forces story. It's called.
It's something on the East Coast.
Yeah. Encounter something on the East Coast, it changed everything. So this looks like the first time you meet the 4 Special Forces, and then you have another story with them again. And there's also like you can see he puts it around these military groups, and it's their experiences, which I think is really cool. That's a really cool way to do it, and like
it is. I think that's a very, very cool thing that we get like a short series out of these different groups. It's not just one group going around and being super badass. It's a couple of different really badass groups that have a small list of different operations they've gone on.
Well, you know what
very
other
well crafted,
author does stuff like this that wrote an incredible story about a prison? Mr. Outlaw.
Yeah.
Mr. Outlaw does
That
well.
is
His
true.
are different because he does like the one that kind of broke him into the scene was like don't go like exploring the dark web or something, which is a really good story. That one I remember being a pretty good story. The cheesiness of I will always love I'm a guard stationed at a secret prison. But he does that where it's like interconnected in a way, and I don't know if this guy's stories are interconnected. And maybe one day when we read, I definitely think Forrest Has Eyes will definitely hit the list again. He will hit the metaphorical towers. He'll get that second plane.
We gotta get a second story in there.
That's a terrible. We're doing a military episode, and I made a 9/11 joke. Look
You
at me.
have
Look at me.
no analogy.
Dude, I actually had trouble with one of our episodes because every once in a while I'll pop one of those jokes out where I'm like, I don't know if I should have said that, but I'm gonna keep doubling down for eternity. It was
I think that we should just keep them in.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. I definitely did leave. I edited when I was editing the video from. It was. I think it's the 2 episodes before this one. It was the one with the Stranger Calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the mom that sucked, and I talked about how her job was just testing rope.
Yeah.
Dude, I just instantly thought, I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna upset somebody with one of these. But
yeah, that's okay.
This is definitely,
they're just jokes.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm never taking anything out. But this is, I really like this. I like the style of this. This is definitely something. You don't ever get a lot of You get a lot of military ones, but I don't feel like I actually have listened to a lot of military ones. So
I haven't either. There's like that YouTube channel that does like scary stories of like strange things that like the military has cited and stuff like that. And those are like some really cool stories. One day we should maybe like go through some of those like truer events and stuff like that, or like supposedly true events. Like that would be a fucking cool thing to dive in and explore.
Cool. If this channel is big enough, that could
that's
be
really
like,
it. That's all that I've heard of that.
Dude, that would be something too. Like, if this channel got big enough, we could do like true military stories, like true, like, or do like true horror stories.
Yeah.
The problem, so the thing that gets kind of with that is too, that can be kind of bad is the only downside I could see with that is maybe like people getting upset with because like the true crime community gets kind of like a lot of flack because they kind of glorify death in a way.
Yeah. I'm not talking about true crime as much as I'm like, the time the Marines saw a Yeti in Afghanistan.
Yeah, no.
Like that type of shit.
Okay. I thought we were talking about like horrific war stuff, which I like.
Again, no, I don't have to get into all that.
I would be fine covering it. I just know that I don't know if our audience would want that. You guys would have to let us know. You'd have to let us know.
That's for you guys. Let us know. Yeah.
Keep us posted on if you wanted that. Because I mean, if this gets big enough, I would love to add like a second episode in, and then like eventually a Patreon episode type thing too. But I mean, that's all down the line. But it's stuff that you guys definitely let us know. I mean, we love hearing. One thing I did want to tell everybody while finding, because I find a lot of these stories, right? You guys need to write more westerns. I want a good, scary western.
We want a horror western.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something about a gunslinger fighting stuff. I love that. I love it, dude. I love it. I don't care if it's cheesy. I don't care if it's gobbing, like, just endless amounts of semen on me. I want that to be a part of this. Now, like, I think I found one time that had zombies. I'm not a big zombie guy. I don't know how Ben feels about zombies. I think they are the most like oversaturated monster of all time that I just can't stand.
It really depends on how they do the zombie. Like there has to be so much that goes into it. Like 28 Days Later, that whole franchise, love it. I fucking love it for its cinematography and stuff.
I heard.
Yes.
I heard. My buddy said that he was just confused when he left it. He said it was good, but it was confusing. He's like,
it is confusing.
He's like, I feel like they should have put an emphasis in the trailers on how massive that zombie's penis was. He's like
that definitely too, dude. You're gonna see a fucking hog, bro. That's like the scariest part is taking your woman to go see it,
dude.
And then being like, they're not supposed to be that big. That's the zombie.
Dude, my buddy was like, yeah, I don't really know what to think about the movie, to be honest with you. He's like, I know that was the biggest penis I've ever seen in a movie.
Yes, dude. It's like down to the dude's knees, and he goes sprinting straight at the fucking camera, and you're like, ah! Like it really does make you like. If they put that shit in 3D, you'd be like.
I've only ever seen the first movie. I've never seen the sequel either.
28 Weeks Later is my least favorite of the three.
Okay.
I think that 28 Years Later is the second best one, and 28 Days Later stays the first because it's got Cillian Murphy and all that stuff.
Months. Why did they just skip months?
Yeah, right. You're all right. They did skip 28 months later.
They're making a sequel to. They're making another sequel. And what are they gonna do? 24 like schmigblams later? Like what do they got? Decades?
Me and my wife, we kept joking that they're just gonna keep going with it to like 28 centuries later, 28 millennia later, where it's like sci-fi zombie. They're still dealing with British zombies, but they're like in deep space at this point. But no, what it is they're actually the reason why this third movie is kind of confusing and weird though is also that it's the third movie of the first trilogy, and it's the first movie of a second trilogy that they're working on.
That's what I
That's
heard.
all going to take place in that like same time zone or whatever, or time period.
Why didn't they call it months? They could have called it months,
It
and
could have
then
been
had
months.
the next one been years, and then
That's going to be the next one is 28 months after the 28 years later. But 28 months after 28 years later is like Wayans Brothers level stupid title
dude.
for a movie.
Like what was it? Don't go messing around in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Boom.
Yes.
Nailed
yes.
it.
Love it.
My
I
Uzi
love
with
that
my
movie so
bunny
much.
slippers.
Or the Tech 9 with the slides.
The Tech 9 with the
Alright, I'll just
slides.
wear that. It does a fucking walk. God, I love that shit. Alright, we've taken up enough of the people's time. They're not here.
We went off the thing. They're great story. Make sure to go check out theforcehaseyes.com. He has a ton of great stories. I mean, he's got like full 12-part stories here. He's got so much. And he's got a book. The book, I didn't see anything on the book. Well, there's a book update here. It says a lot of words.
It's a lot of words, yeah.
Let's see. Force Special Forces group was actually activated on November. Blah blah blah. Primary Forkit. So this is gonna be the books about the Force Special.
Nice. Alright, so
Nice.
we're getting into the larger canon that we or the people at home need to know to understand the book if you're going to keep going on with this universe and stuff like that.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
awesome then. We're doing a lot of foundational work
If
here.
you scroll down on their thing, so I was looking here and I just kind of did a quick glance, and then there says although they're anti Squatch operations. When I saw that, I thought it said anti Sasquatch, and it like harkened back to a second ago when you said when military the military people met the Sasquatch.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my God, do we have like a fourth wall moment where we broke the Matrix? Somebody better call Andrew Tate and get him to stop trafficking little girls so we can talk about the Matrix for 5 seconds.
Or he needs to go traffic a few more to keep the Matrix online. Or
Oh,
something.
no.
However it is that he fucking logics this out.
Yeah, dude. However he decides to
Go buy some crypto
blaze
from
up
him.
to his crypto, dude. What a loser.
So our podcast goes smooth.
All right, guys. Before we get ourselves in any more trouble, we'll round it off there. But
Yeah. You guys are getting all of the post-close banter, by the way.
Yeah.
So fucking like, share, and subscribe this shit.
Absolutely, and rate us on Spotify. Again,
Yes.
I don't know if I'll ever get it on Apple, but I'll think about it. It seems like unnecessary steps, but if I get
I've
enough
left him
comments,
with like 5 fucking voicemails, dude.
Yeah,
he will
dude.
not get back to me.
I look at
But
Apple.
you know what? Every time I text him, it goes green. I'm texting an Android to the owner of Apple. What the fuck?
Yeah. but well, if you guys commented enough that you want it on Apple Podcasts, I will get it on there, and I can get it on other things. Just make sure to let me know, okay?
If you want me to stay in this suit while it's 100 degrees in this room, check us out on all of our platforms. All right, bye.
Bye.